Now, the Daily Mail newspaper has dismissed criticism of its front page today, focusing on the appearance of two of the UK's most powerful women as po-faced. Readers were asked whether Theresa May or the Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon had the best legs. Well, the Prime Minister shrugged it all off, saying she doesn't mind if people want to have a bit of fun. But there have been at least 300 formal complaints, including one from the Green Party. Sky's Katie Spencer reports.
The legs have got thinner and thinner.
Forget about Brexit. Courtesy of the headline writers at the Mail, we now have Legsit.
It's quite weird because you know that Sturgeon and May are very clever at manipulating their own images. And they would know exactly what was happening if a photographer was in a position to be taking a photograph of them in that way.
This was the Daily Mail's take on Theresa May and Nicola Sturgeon's big meeting up in Glasgow. And it isn't just the front page. Take a look inside. And Sarah Vine's column claims their finest weapons are those pins. These two of the most powerful women in the country. You can, of course, present a story in any number of ways. How you choose to frame it, that comes down to the editor.
Unsurprisingly, it caused a social media storm. Former Labour leader Ed Miliband tweeted the 1950s called and asked for their headline back. It prompted comedian David Schneider to get his legs out and Scottish MSP Ruth Davidson. The Prime Minister has said she sees it as a bit of fun, but her critics argue a strong stance against sexism should come from the top.
I think people who are in a position of power and in a position of influence should use that to the best of their ability to ensure that they are paving the way for women to come forward. I didn't find it amusing at all.
Rightly or wrongly, what Theresa May wears continues to make headlines. But the Mail insists it treats male politicians just the same, arguing it's published stories on David Cameron's waistline, Jeremy Corbyn's clothes, and even Boris Johnson's legs.
I don't think it's ever a bad thing for a newspaper to become its own news story. I mean, if Twitter and all the other newspapers are reporting on what the Mail said, then that's free advertising, isn't it? And the people who run the Mail don't care what anybody else says anyway.
Whether or not the Legsit row gets you animated, in 2017 it seems bizarrely backward-looking to be focusing on how our politicians look rather than what they say. Katie Spencer, Sky News.